I'm the Commissar. We're watching Forged Alliance Forever. Today, we got some good old 3v3 ladder action. Let's get straight in. Cold team in the north, hot team in the south. Going first for cold team, this is a regular star of the show on the channel. It's SainseRow. He is 1579 rated and he is Cybran. He's playing in Mauve. And where we see SainseRow, we often see Marine. He's 1968 rated and he's Seraphim, playing in dark blue. And their ally over here is Gavagava, who is 1105 rated and Eon. He's playing in baby blue. Up against them on hot team, this is Andead. He's 1517 rated and Seraphim. He's playing in orange. Behind him is Umbra, who is 1679 rated and Eon in burgundy. And last but not least, over here we have Kinder 5129, who's 1476 rated. He's Cybran in red. And as we could see in the chat there, Andead and Umbra have been playing together before, but with not a great deal of success. I commiserate with them. I've lost many games myself, but you should be focusing on this game, my dudes, not last game. The map. It's generated, of course, because this is 3v3 ladder, and look at all the reclaim it's generated. 972, I know what that is, that's a Cybran Destro. 475 is the naval yard, and you can see that we've got these scattered everywhere. And then decent chunks of rocks and general tree claim, just, scattered around the place. So I expect to see drops to get all these. I expect to see lots of drops. Have we actually got any under construction yet? No, because we're still way too early. But you can see that the very first thing queued there from Saints' air factory is a transport. Same with Nyars. We haven't actually got much air from hot team as yet. But we'll see if they try and do the same thing. That does imply, though, that cold team are going to be much quicker to getting the reclaim. And Kinder has indeed killed a transport up first. Umbra hasn't. He's going for a bomber. Which could be nice to bomb the engineers, if he can spot them. However, here are Nyar and Saints loading up. And Saints has loaded a lab on board as well. I like that. It's not quite a ghetto gunship, and for those not in the know, a ghetto gunship is the only way that every race apart from Cybran can get a, quotes, gunship, end quotes, at T1. Labs can fire out a transport, so you load a bunch of labs onto a transport, and it's a lot of damage raining down from the sky at T1. But it's quite vulnerable, and this is only one lab, so not enough to kill a comm, but definitely enough to kill an reclaiming engineer that they find. However, we said that cold team were out to the reclaim first, and look at this, they're getting all these 4 wrecks straight away with essentially no competition. Nyar hasn't brought a lab, but he has brought a bomber, which will do the same job. And we can see there on the mini and coming in here that Umbra's trying the same thing, but he's going to be a little bit late to the party. He's going to try and get this Destro, but 1, Nyar's already eaten half of it, and 2, Nyar's got that bomber. Boom, down goes the NG, and the bomber flies away, trying to chase after this one. Umbra's noticed, and he jinks away, not wanting to let these NGs die to the bomber. Now there's a Destro wreck down here we saw on the reclaim overview when we looked at it at the beginning, and you might think that by rights it belongs to hot team, but Nyar and Saints are having none of that. They want that wreck, and they are going to eat it up. Whereas over here, rather than go for the wreck, looks like Kinder is going to try and just get these mexes on the side island over here, which would be pretty nice. And I don't think that Saint saw that, so he won't be able to. Okay, so is he going to drop the... No, he saw it. He saw it. So, you know what I was saying about a lab being beautiful for picking off single engineers just hanging around on the transport? Here you can see it firing out of the transport. That Mex will be denied. That engine's going to go down. Boom. And Saints is just bringing in his own engineer to take advantage. Lovely play. First movement towards the enemy side here is coming from Andead, who's sending a swarm of his farm T1 tanks. And only air defense here as yet from Gava, so if Andead pushes in, he could easily deny this, whereas there's nothing here stopping, what's his name, Kinder, picking up these fellows for free with this engineer. Saints has chosen to stop and set up more of a base for production before he pushes in. And indeed, those anti-airs are just gonna die. The ghetto, the baby ghetto, has come over here. It's denied an NG and it's denied a mech for a while. It has been shot down, but I think that as basically 3 extra damage after it did the reclaim it wanted to do, that's pretty good. Speaking of reclaim, 1500 reclaim lead for Core Team, so that you can see that their early play has definitely paid off there. However, those tanks from Andead, they're coming up the side. I love this, because it means that these mexes, these scattered mexes on the flank, that are very, very vulnerable to raiding, because they're scattered, they're not easy to defend, lots of ways in, and so they're being raided. And rather than just try and fight this comm, who would easily kill a bunch of T1 tanks, Andead is going to kill 3 mexes at least for free. And this is nice too, sending back just 1 tank to take out this undefended mex there, so the rest can go on and get more work done more quickly. 3 mexes, 2 engineers going to die, and 1 mobile artillery. Not going to be a great match for tanks, because artillery is only good on the attack. And Andead would be going to take out these 2, but Gava never built them, but at least he's denying them. We can see on the minimap that Kinder has built his, and so you can see why Andead would have thought that Gava would have built his. He's coming on here. I'm surprised he missed this one though. But I guess he's just trying to get in deep and do as much damage as possible before this huge swarm from Gava catches him up. However, this is also good for Andead, because it means that Gava is not bringing these tanks to the front. Saints, however, has pushed, and he's going to take out this trio of undefended mexes from Kinder, and he's just going to take them himself with his common build a point defense. Kinder is going for gun, that will be good. Saints is naked, and a gun comm will take out T1 PD easy. Kinder also has more tanks here, but until he gets the gun, he's rooted to the spot. However, he can speed it up, and he's going to with Mantis. Mantis, unlike all other tanks at T1, have a tiny little engineering suite, and it's only a fifth of engineer, sure, but that's still effectively 3 or 4 engineers worth of build power, assisting Kinder in getting his upgrade, so that's nice. And what's going on over here? Saints has a naval yard, but Kinder has dropped 6 NGs, and he just eats the naval yard. How beautiful. The naval yard goes down. Kinder gets the mass, and now there's only 1 frigate out here for Saints. And the only naval production on the entire field belongs to Hot Team. Maybe that'll be important. We can see up here that another 1, 2, 3, 4 mexes went out for Gava, as well as these 2 being denied. So nice work by Andead. Over here, there's an attempt to set up a beachhead by Umbra, but it's been seen. There's a couple of tanks there. We'll check back on it later to see whether it gets any work done. Down here, Kinder is not content with gun and is going for stealth as well, but that does mean that Saints is having a chance to get gun himself, also assisted by Mantis. Ooh, a little bit of bomb work there is doing some good work for Kinder, and Nya is also here getting T2, so if he puts up a T2 point defense while Saints gets the gun, that could be good. However, I don't think he's going to finish stealth. I think that Kinder is going to force the cancel, and he does. If he brings in this swarm now behind him, though he's doing well and leading with the comm to tank the damage, that could be great. Over here, that beachhead is going to be taken out by Gava, so let's come and focus back here, where all the action is going down. Is Nya going to finish the T2? I think he is, because Saints is bringing in the Mantis to help in the same way. But Saints is taking damage here. And he's also losing the Mantis because the Mantis aren't shooting back. Nyar goes straight for tactical missile. He must have had that pre-killed because he straight away cancels it. But with this swarm, I think that Nyar might be forced to cancel, and that was also an unwise start. Nyar is forced to cancel again. Keeping on with the comm fight on the left, Umbra has flown in his comm with gun and extra range. But over here, Andead has raided in, just done a little bit of damage here, including taking out the T2 radar from Gava, which is great, and he's moving on to get some mix damage over here, where again, there's nothing to defend, so that might hurt Saints. Both Saints and Nyar are being pushed into the water by this pair of Rambo comms from Hot Team, and with this swarm of tanks, Hot Team are gonna get some real damage done. This T2 radar as well from Saints will be a lovely pickup if Hot Team can get it, and I think they can. T2 mexes as well. This is quite significant damage that Hot Team are inflicting, and I love it. Nyar again starting the TML in the water, but he's forced to pause it, presumably due to resource issues, as over here these tanks just come sweeping around. And we can go back to the single screen now, because here they come in. I actually pointed at the screen there now, at the top. So the expansion from Saints is actually going to just be taken out, and there were some decent T2 mixes in there. Saints tries to pop out of the water in order to lay some damage down on Kinder, but I don't think he's going to get much work done. Kinder's got more hits, Kinder's got spamming support, and Saints just has to stay in the water. And this horde of tanks is just going to be able to push up here and get damage done, while Kinder sits there with his comm taking out T2 production from Saints. Nyar has got the tactical missile though and started the gun upgrade, and he's also got T3 air going and scouting for things to shoot. So that could be very nice for him. And as this swarm of tanks come charging up, Hot Team already has 50 eco lead, which at this stage is pretty significant. And more T2 mixes are going down. So over here, those tanks, we're going to watch them, because look at all these T2 mixes that they might kill. But Nyar has started firing the TML. And what's he targeting? I think he's going for the power, and this could hurt. Boom, T2 PGen taken out straight away, and he's not content with just the one. He knows there's another under construction here. And it's gonna go up, and it goes up, and 2 seconds later, boom. What's that done to Umbra's power? Well, he's losing it fast, and he's gonna need to do something about that. They've seen the tactical missile ACU, but what are they gonna do about it? Meanwhile, look at these T2 mixes. They are all going down, and that is pain. However, we've seen a... Oh, no, it stopped. So, one has been taken out there, but only one. And TMD is going up, so where's he going to target next? These are going to go down, but look at that. They have done so much eco damage. That is 100 eco difference, which is insane at this stage. And those last tanks, I think, are going to be killed by this horde from Gava before any more damage is done. But the TML is just still firing. Is it still getting work done thanks to these TMDs? No, it's not. And there's a torpedo launcher going up here from Kinder, which will be able to deal with Nyar if Nyar doesn't try and do something about it. And what can Nyar do about it? Well, he could TML it, but he's still worried about using it, and that strat, oof, that strat has taken out the TMDs, and so that tactical missile can come in, and it can do the work. And he's firing now that he knows that the tactical missile defense is dead, but the shield comes up in the nick of time. So that's going to take the hit from the tactical missile. And the torpedo launcher is up, and it's torpedoing Nyar, and not to be dissuaded, Kinder is putting up another one. Nyar won't be able to hold this position for very long. Anti-fire the tactical missile launcher, anti-tactical missiles the torpedo, as you would. But he knows now that the water isn't a super safe place for him, and so I think he might be planning to leave. Meanwhile, Andead has been really good with these T1 tank raids. He is backing Gava's eco, and he's doing it again, but Gava now has blazes out here. Blazes are a great counter to T1 tanks, and so he'll probably be able to stop this before it gets much more work done. Still, he's done a bit, and has Andead, and Hot Team are still 100 eco ahead. So, nice work. However, Nyar and Saints are coming back into the fight. Is that fire beetles I see? Is that fire beetles? Yes, it is. And the tactical missile, it misses there, but they're taking some damage. The fire beetles swarm in. And Umbra is taking hits from those fire beetles. Umbra is gonna... This is gonna hurt. Boom, Umbra is down into the red, and Nyar's targeting him. Just 2,000 hit points left as he fires away. A tactical missile fires but misses. Umbra retreats as Kinder comes forward to take the shots. And now it's Kinder who's taking the damage from both comms. The tactical missile fires, and it hits, and boom, he goes up and in the comm bomb, so does Umbra. Kinder defeated by Nyar, Umbra defeated by Kinder. Ow! And so suddenly Andead is all on his own for Hot Team against all three players of Cold Team. How painful is that? And there's still a swarm of fire beetles coming in there. However, Andead does have still that 100 eco lead. Can he convert it into something before the weight of 3 players, including the very high rated by comparison to all the others Nyar Marine, is able to do something about it? Tactical missile taking out still more in the way of eco here. And Nyar is not letting up. Look at this, he's already killed nearly 11,000 mass. There are TMDs up from Andead, which will be good work. But what about these fire beaters? This is Kinder's old base, and there's a T3 Pigeon going up in here. And the fire beetles are positioning themselves, and Andead, he can see a couple of them, because they have cloaking but no radar. Stealth. And look where they're positioning themselves. They're going into his base. These power gens would be a lovely pickup. This one goes for the T3 power. And the T3 power is nearly finished, but if he denies it with the boom, boom, and boom, and suddenly Andead has lost a huge heap of power. And look at that, he's gonna power store. That is horrific for Andead. Great fire beetle work. Where's the pest control when you need it? And Nyar has just popped out with his comm, and he's blapping this T2 production here. But with his comm on his own, I don't like it. These Ilshis will die to an overcharge. Could Nyar just put up a PD or two here to do the work for him? However, there's now T3 production from Andead here, which could be a threat to a lone comm, even one with T2. And Nyar sneaks off a tactical missile, trying to just do damage to this army, but he's going to be forced back into the water. Andead's got gun, so has Nyar, and he's got T2, but Andead's also got this army, including a decent bunch of Ilshis. And I would not like to be facing them with Nyar's comm alone. However, Saints is coming in. He's also only got gun, but 2 gun comms is still 2 gun comms. And we have a lot of blazes coming in to support from Gava, and they will absolutely be able to help out. He's going for hitting the comm with the TMLs, Nyar, but again, he doesn't quite predict the location, he doesn't quite get the hit. And I think Andead might be about gonna hold. He's got PDs here at T2, and despite the swarm of spam, the comms are gonna have trouble coming out of the water. We've got Ophiums in queue as well, but they're taking a while to come out. And that will be enough with the Ilshis, with the T2 point defenses, with the comm to hold all those blazes and the 2 comms from Hot Team back. But you know where there isn't any defense against the blazes? is down here. And we can see that there is a big swarm of blazes, and there is a T2 point defense here actually, so maybe that'll be able to hold them back. But it's going to be focused. And it goes down, and these T2 mexes are now fair game for the horde of blazes, plus these rhinos that Saints has brought in around the side. And we do have a push coming up from Andead up this flank, but I don't think it's going to get a great deal done. It might kill a couple of mexes here, which would be nice, but it's going to be stopped by this army, I'm pretty sure. And which of these forces is going to get more damage done? There are Urshis in here, but there's not much T2 to stop them. And there's not much T2 in here to stop this T2 force either. I see a T2 mix going down there. And there. But the rhinos are now coming back here for Saints, and they'll probably stop the force from Andead before much more gets taken out. However, the swarm is now surrounding Gava's tanks here. One mix down there, one mix down there, but this lot is still going. But Othiums are now on the field for Andead. T3 Seraphim tanks. What's Nyar TMLing though? What's he got that he can still hit? That's a T3 mech. One tactical missile won't take it out though. Look at that, 200 hit points it survives with. That's pretty close. I think he's firing a gale on it. Meanwhile, these tanks have taken out these 3 mechs and are going to be able to get more damage done here. Is that second tactical missile going to hit and take out this mechs? Boom, T3 mechs taken out, and now it's cold team, not hot team, with the eco lead. So excellent work raiding and TMLing from Nyar and Saints and Gava. And I think Nyar's trying to go for the same trick again. There's a T3 mech here supporting these 4 factories. Down it goes to 200 hit points. Where's the second shot? There it is. Pop. And how the tables have turned. Now it is cold team, not hot team, with the 100 eco lead. What a turnaround. And that tactical missile just keeps on firing. Gava's bringing a little raid down the left hand side, but this is all T1, and there's enough here with T1 tanks, jesters, and a couple. Actually, I think there's just T1 tanks and jesters on the ground there, but this is a big army, and Othiums actually have some pretty decent torps, so if enough Othiums get in here, Nyar could be under threat, and Andead really needs to put Nyar under threat, because otherwise he's going to lose just so much to that tactical missile launcher. And we can see those torpedoes from the Othiums swarming down on Nyar. So we've got a naval yard from Saints here, but I don't think that's going to get anything done. So the raid from Gava, now backed up by Wagner's from Saints, is getting into the fight, but it's taking damage from this horde of units here, and there are these point defenses here to help out. But these mexes, which I always said were very raidable, are, well, being raided, unsurprisingly. Nyar, however, down into the yellow over here, and he's taking a lot of hits from those Othiums, and what can he do about it? He's brought in gunships to support him when he comes out of the water. Those guys are just going to get some T2 mix kills, but we have to focus here, now we have to. Nyar is trying to come out of the water, but there's just too many Othiums. The Vultures aren't doing damage fast enough. He goes back in the water with only 2,000 hit points. He's going to try and run away, but the tanks just dive back in. And where's he going to go now? His health is just shedding away. He's got nothing to take out these submerged tanks. He flees. Boom. Nyar is torpedoed out of the game by Othiums, and could this be Andead staging a bit of a comeback? Now, Umbra saying there, see if you can catch Shanks' ACU, and if these Othiums can catch him too, that would be a huge pickup. However, I do think that Cold Team have the air advantage, so if Saints can get far enough away to outrun the Othiums and then have a bunch of air-to-ground units, both with gunships or whatever, come and stop it, that could work. But will it be fast enough? Saints is not going to make the same... Ooh, Saints is not sure if he wants to stay in the water or not. Meanwhile, Gava does want to stay in the water, and he's got a different plan to make sure he doesn't get Othium to death. These bricks are going to be the difference for Saints, and Saints can now hold back the Othiums with bricks, while Gava puts up torpedo defences, Tech 2 torpedo defences, and that will hold the Othiums back. So, overall, that is a good combined defence of land and sea from Cold Team. Meanwhile, the blazes are hovering above the water along with these Aeon shields, and the Othiums on the bottom of the water therefore can't shoot them. Oof, well, that was exciting, but the eco lead for Cold Team is now increasing, and one thing I would point out is there's always been this frigate production here for Hot Team, but why frigates? What, you own this entire pond. Make that T2. Make that produce 7 missile cruisers. Make that T3 and make it produce torrents even. But you use this pond, use this river to actually get some damage done, and that could really help the cause, as it were. Advanced Nano going down with no assist for Andead. I'll be honest, I don't like that. He's obviously worried about his snipe. I don't think he's going to be going for any full Rambo at this stage. And he's also not assisting it very hard. And that's why he's spending most of his mass elsewhere. But we do have a few bricks coming down the side. Othiums are not as good as bricks, but that's enough Othiums to stop that many bricks. Easy peasy. This is nice, so a little bit of Ilsheville raiding up here from Andead. And he's just doing it again. He's just never letting Gava get settled on these mechs, and this is a Cat T2 mechs that he's got to take out. That's pretty good. The bricks and the Othiums engage, but the bricks are pulling back until Saints is able to bring in some more, and he's got another army supported by stealth and anti-air massing up here. Okay, maybe the bricks are going to engage, but I think that's enough Othiums backed up by these Urshis and Mantis to come and take them out. And we are getting support coming in from Gava, but will it be fast enough? Saints loses a few bricks and he retreats with what's left. And he's not bringing these forward to assist. However, now the bricks' firepower is beginning to show, the Othiums fall, and Andead, in his turn, falls back. Oof. Now, we mentioned that eco advantage, which is getting now up to 300 for Cold Team. That's wild, but what's he been doing with it? No, that's what he's been doing with it. Saints has nearly finished a crab. And what have we got to stop it? Well, we do have a GC just started construction for Andead, but one crab beats one GC, easy peasy. And so Andead's going to have to find another answer to that. Another thing is, mobile shields are not really a good protection for a GC because the GC is tall enough, especially when the fire's coming from something as tall as a megalith, to just shoot over the top of the shield and hit the GC directly. So that's something he is going to have to be aware of. And Saints, having finished the crab, starts straight on a nuke. Is there nuke defense for Andead anywhere? I'm not seeing anything. I don't think he knows about it. Is he scouting well? What can Andead see up there? He can't see what's going on at all. But, one more check. Well, he knows where the mega is, but he doesn't know it's a mega. How's that GC coming along? Well, it's still only half done. You will lose if you go ground experimental and lose air, says Umbra. And on the one hand, I understand that he can't lose air, but on the other hand, how's he going to do both when he's 300 eco behind? It's my feeling that right now, what Andead needs is, to be honest, he needs to cheese it to win it. What can he cheese it with? He's got access to Eon, Cybran, and Serra Tech, and he could combine those in some way, but without the air control, an XP bomber isn't going to do the trick. I don't think he's got enough to finish a game ender before there's so much more eco to overwhelm it. Could it be time for a double gun, double nanocom? He's gone back to work on that advanced nano repair. I'd love to see it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And now he's going to be distracted by this as the Mega comes charging in. Sneak a few siege tanks into their backside, says Umbra. And, I mean, I don't hate that. Send in a transport load with siege tanks. Drop it up in Gava's corner. But Andead is saying that he can take this Mega, and I think he can, because this is a lot of troops, and he's also got these Ophiums seeking through the water behind it, and if he can freeway pits to the Mega, I think he can make that Mega go down. Let's see the fight. He's got to engage pretty much simultaneously. There's the notification about the GC finishing. He's got to engage pretty much simultaneously. And I think he's going to. All three of his forces come charging in, and that crab is going to start taking a lot of damage. Down into the yellow. The Ophiums are focusing the bricks first, which I can understand. It means that there will be less damage coming off the bricks. And now they're focusing the Mega, and the Mega is shedding health. It gets a veterancy there, and that veterancy might be crucial though, because it's down into the red. And suddenly all the big hitters are dead, and the Mega is going to survive. It's in the red, but it's going to survive. Where's that GC? A Mega defeats the GC, but a Mega that deep into the red. If the GC can pop out of the water and finish it off, that would be great, but I think it's a little too far back, and there's a little too much brick for Andead to get any traction against this Mega right now. He's working on another GC. And the Mega's staying back while it's damaged. That means that this GC could actually hurt these bricks here quite a bit. That incredibly so unassisted double nano is still going. I hate that. Either assist it or don't do it, but don't do both. It's a bit too late to cancel now though. Sunk costs fallacy. And the GC opens up on the bricks. It starts sucking them up with its tractor hands. It starts lasering them with its laser face. Mega is far back. Push them off reclaim, says Umbra, and he's not wrong. There is an awful lot of reclaim here, and if Andead can get a few units into it, that would really do some advantage there. Total mass, he's 120,000 behind, but how much reclaim is there to capture? Let's have a look. There's 31,000 there. That would do a good amount towards remedying it. And the GC pushes forward. Meanwhile, Saints finishes another XP. What's he built? He's built a monkey. And meanwhile, Gava, who we haven't been talking about much, has sneakily got this GC coming forward. Meanwhile, Saints' nuke fires. And it's targeted here. Immediately, Andead is hoping that it's not going here and putting up an SMD. I think he's hoping it's going over here, or maybe even through his comm where he's running. But unfortunately for him, it's going for right where he's putting up SMD. It's going through his main eco. And as if that eco deficit wasn't enough, it's about to get a whole lot worse. Boom! Down goes his air grid, down goes half his eco. That is going to be, I say half, a bit of his eco. That is going to be painful for Andead. And I think the writing might be on the wall. Only win if you go all land right now, says Lumber. And again, like I say, I think he's right. He can't afford to defend against anything else. Might as well try, but second mega is likely to be done soon. Again, he's not wrong. Saints is more than halfway through it. And he's building a second nuke launcher at the same time. Meanwhile, Gava's GC was going to come out and stop here, but now it knows the comm is in the water. He might be about to try and stamp the comm to death, which would be pretty hilarious. And it looks like the shield's flashing on, that Andead is having power troubles. He certainly was. Look, you can see it's only just getting back into the green again. But Andead now has a problem. He's got Othiums tickling the GC, but that's an experimenter. Not even that many Othiums, I think, with their torps will mob the GC to death. So Andead has to stay in the water. He can't leave the water, because if he does, the GC just pops out and snipes him. And do you know what happens if he doesn't? This happens. There are torp bombers massing for Saints, and will there be enough to take it? The GC sticks its head out of the water and just sucks up the Othiums. It sucks up the Othiums, it sucks up the other Othiums, because there's, you know, quite a lot of Othiums, and it lasers the Othiums who are out of the water with its laser face. Can he just ground target the comm? He might be able to. Either way, the GC is taking a few hits, but here come the torps. We can see them at the top of the screen. And I think Andead might be for the chop. Look at his hit points, even with the nano just shedding away. He never finished the double nano. He was forced to cancel it by the nuke. And now there are two GCs. He's out of the water. The GCs focus him. Boom. And after a glorious and most noble defense, Hot Team lose the game. Cold Team win. Hot Team were doing so well, and suddenly, boom, fire beetles, tactical missiles. What a turnaround. Tell me what you thought in the comments below. While you're down there, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I'm the Commissar. I will see you next time.